Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? Welcome to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner on 12OZSportsRadio.com. I am your host, Glenn Kaplan. We are live in Baltimore, Maryland. Welcome to Birdland, home of the Baltimore Orioles and also the Baltimore Ravens. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend and are ready for today and the week to get started nonetheless. Boy, I'm going to say this, that on Friday before I get into my show, that this is the 82nd show today, when I was typing up my script on Friday, there was absolutely no sports news whatsoever. When I started to type my script up, I'm like, am I going to have anything to talk about on today's show? Because I'm just sitting there. The topics that I was going to share was, and it probably would have bored you guys to death, was that I would have had MLB, NHL, NBA, and NFL players' jerseys that I wanted to buy, or who I would have. Thankfully not. I don't have to kill you guys over it today, and we have more exciting stuff on the agenda, thank God. That's what I have to say. But before I get into the hot topics, this is the first of 3 times I will say, use promo code 12OZSports, all caps, for deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. Now let's get into the drama. I couldn't believe that Bill Belichick played a game of chess and checkers again with everybody. So everyone's thinking, we're in late June. No one wants Cam Newton deal with incentives. And I get the impression that he's going to start over Jarrett Stidham. I don't think he was brought in to be the backup to Stidham. And I don't think that Belichick wants to tank this year, which means that I guess you could take him out of the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes out of Clemson, right? We'll see how that lasts because Cam Newton is injury prone. And that's why he only made 2 starts last year with the Carolina Panthers. He was released in the offseason. Cam Newton's 31. He won a Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl MVP. He led them to a Super Bowl, They lost that game to the Denver Broncos, 24-10. That was the same year, though, Cam Newton did win an MVP. That's what I meant to say at first. Not the Super Bowl MVP, because Von Miller won the Super Bowl MVP that year. And in the 2 games last year that Cam Newton played, 0-2, 50 for 89, 56.2, completion percentage, one pass got picked. He did not have a passing touchdown. And in his career, he started 125 games for Carolina, 124 games for Carolina, and played in 125 of them. A 68-55-1 record, 2,371 of 3,980 passes completed, which is also 29,041 yards thrown for 182 touchdowns, 108 interceptions. And he also rushed for 934 yards for 934 carries for 4,806 yards in his career and 58 touchdowns. Let alone he never rushes for minus yards. Had that last year, -2 for 5. And fully healthy, obviously, goes over 100 easily for sure. And in his career, I found this on Pro Football Reference. I think they made a mistake. Knowing that quarterbacks don't catch passes very often, it said he had 0 receptions for 6 yards one year. I think they meant 1 catch for 6 yards. And another for 27, which really should mean 2 for 33, right? I'm no mathematician, but I guess that's the way it goes. So what do I think? No, the Buffalo Bills are not the biggest loser here. Let's get that out of the way. First of all, The Buffalo Bills are still going to win the AFC East. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled about that. Jarrett Stidham's a loser because they thought he was going to start. That probably tells you they're probably not sold on him for the future. Because you don't... some people think, yeah, maybe you bring him Cam to help him develop another year. But is it the best way to develop sometimes when one of the best quarterbacks who ever lived and played the game of football just to let him grow and have him growing pains? I mean, isn't that the point of playing games and not just sitting and watching on the sidelines? Well, yes, it's good to learn, and yes, it's good to absorb what's going on like a sponge, but let's be honest. What's Jarrett Stidham going to learn when he's on the sidelines? I mean, Jarrett Stidham and Cam Newton are two different quarterbacks. Stidham's a pocket guy. Cam Newton's a read option, mobile, powerful, strong quarterback. And I just can't pretend this morning that Stidham, it's not going to work out for him in the long run, is it? I don't think it's going to. But if Cam Newton gets hurt and Stidham plays well, then I guess we could take it from there. Don't count on Cam Newton being 100%. Don't really count on it. Listen, I know he deserves to be a starting quarterback in the league or on the roster, of course. But don't tell me that this is going to put the Patriots over the top. Their offense is still going to be inept. Please tell me what playmakers Cam Newton has. And isn't that the same reason why Tom Brady left? Tom Brady didn't leave because of a championship culture. He left because he had no weapons. Look what he has in Tampa Bay with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and now Rob Gronkowski and O.J. Howard, Cameron Brayden. I could go on and on. You're going to tell me that N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman are really the answer? Oh, and they also have what? No tight end? And the running game was atrocious last year. Don't tell me all of a sudden Sonny Michel and James White and whoever else are going to pop this year just because Cam Newton has arrived. They struggled to run the ball last year. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend Cam Newton's going to put them over the top. Not happening. Playoff team, sure. And the other losers are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, and the Indianapolis Colts. First of all, Cam Newton's a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers is. That's for starters. I thought the Colts were going to be the 7th seed. Now I'm not so sure about it. Browns, I think, are much better than the Pats and the Colts are talent-wise. On paper, Cleveland Browns got one of the best skill guys. Sets on offense and defense. Supposedly, they have a top 10 roster in all of football, the Cleveland Browns. With first-year head coach Kevin Stefanski. How it plays out with all of these teams, it remains to be seen. I don't think New England wins the division, but nonetheless, I expect them to find a way to make the playoffs with Cam Newton and Bill Belichick. On to my next segment. The NBA, ladies and gentlemen, let the schedule now be revealed. There's a schedule. They announced it on Friday night Friday night around 7:30. My friend happened to message me, and he's like, actually, I believe I told him that the schedule was out, or he told me. But I'm pretty excited for it to come out. And in just a minute, I'm going to share with you every single game pick that I have for the remainder of the regular season. And Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, laid the line and said, we're playing in Orlando at the Walt Disney Studio Resorts in Orlando, Florida, no matter what, despite the coronavirus cases going up in Orlando, Florida. And here we go. So here are the current NBA standings. Before I get into what I think is going to happen. Number 1 in the East right now is the Milwaukee Bucks at 53-12. Number 2 in the East is the Toronto Raptors at 46-18. Number 3 in the East is the Boston Celtics at 43-21. Number 4 is the Miami Heat at 41-24. Number 5 is the Indiana Pacers at 39-26. Number 6 is the Philadelphia 76ers at 39-26. Number 7 is the Brooklyn Nets at 30-34. Number 8 is the Orlando Magic at 30-35. And number 9 is the Washington Wizards at 24-40. Now the Western Conference. Number 1 is the Los Angeles Lakers at 49-14. Number 2 is the Los Angeles Clippers at 44-20. Number 3 is the Denver Nuggets at 43-22. Number 4 is the Utah Jazz at 41-23. Number 5 is the Oklahoma City Thunder at 40-24. Number 6 is the Houston Rockets at 40-24. Number 7 is the Dallas Mavericks at 40-27. Number 8 is the Memphis Grizzlies at 32-33. Number 9 is the Portland Trailblazers at 29-37. Number 10 is the New Orleans Pelicans at 28-36. Number 10 is the New Orleans Pelicans at 28-36. Number 11 is the Sacramento Kings at 28-36. Number 12 is the San Antonio Spurs at 27-36. Number 13 is the Phoenix Suns at 26-39. All right, now I'm going to get to you game by game. And yes, I'm going game by game here. And why not, right? Let you know what every game's on tap and who I think is going to win each game. I put a check mark by each. And I basically hustled this morning to get this done for you guys. So without further ado, let's go. So on the 30th of July, both games on TNT, 6:30, Utah Jazz, New Orleans Pelicans. I put a check mark to the win next to the New Orleans Pelicans. Clippers, Lakers, 9 o'clock on TNT. I checked marked the Clippers. Next, July 31st, 2:30, Nets against the Magic, check mark to the Nets. Trailblazers, Grizzlies, 4 o'clock on NBA TV, check mark next to the Trailblazers. Wizards, Suns, 4 o'clock, check mark to the Wizards. Bucks and Celtics, 6:30 on ESPN, check mark to the Bucks. Kings and Spurs, 8 o'clock, check mark to the Kings. Rockets, Mavericks, 9 o'clock on ESPN, check mark to the Mavericks. Next, Saturday, August 1st, 1 o'clock on ESPN, Heat and Nuggets, check mark Nuggets. Jazz and Thunder, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. This was the game that canceled, basically, not canceled, but postponed the season. And I'll take the Thunder in this one. Pelicans and Clippers at 6 o'clock on ESPN. Check mark Clippers. Sixers, Pacers at 7. I'll take the Sixers. And 8:30 on ESPN. Lakers, Raptors. I'll take the Lakers. Sunday, August 2nd. Wizards and Nets. 2 o'clock. I'll take the Nets. Blazers, Celtics, 3:30 on ABC. I'll take the Celtics. 4 o'clock. Spurs and Grizzlies. I'll take the Grizzlies. Kings and Magic on NBA TV at 6 o'clock. I'll take the Kings. Bucks and Rockets, 8:30 on ABC. I'll take the Rockets. Mavericks and Suns to conclude Sunday's action at 9 o'clock. I'll take the Dallas Mavericks. Next up, Monday, August 3rd. NBA TV at 1:30. Raptors, Heat. I'll take Toronto. Nuggets and Thunder, 4 o'clock on NBA TV. I'll take the Denver Nuggets. Indiana, Washington, the Wizards. I'm at 4 o'clock. I'm going to take the Pacers. Grizzlies and Pelicans on ESPN at 6:30. I'll take the Pelicans. And that's a key game to watch only because that's going to be potentially big time for the Western Conference standings. And then Spurs and Sixers at 8 o'clock. I'll take the Sixers. And at 9 o'clock on ESPN, Lakers, Jazz. I'll take the Lakers. Next up, Tuesday, August 4th. Nets and Bucks at 1:30 on NBA TV. I'll take the Bucks. Mavericks and Kings at 2:30. I'll take the Mavericks. Suns and Clippers, 4 o'clock on NBA TV. I'll take the Clippers. Magic and Pacers, give me the Pacers. Celtics and Heat, 6:30 on TNT. I'll take the Heat. Rockets and Blazers at 9 o'clock on TNT. I'll take the Portland Trail Blazers. And Kevin Harlan mentioned a few weeks ago or even a month ago already that they're going to be calling those games not in Orlando but from the studios at TNT. I'm curious to see how they're going to use crowd noise and all that stuff because obviously with no fans, only players will be watching the games like a summer league, I guess you could say. But in the meantime, we'll see how it rolls out. Wednesday, August 5th. All right. Memphis Grizzlies and Utah Jazz. At 2:30, I'll take the Utah Jazz. Sixers and Wizards, 4 o'clock on NBA TV. I'll take the Sixers. Nuggets and Spurs playing at the same time. I'll take the Nuggets. Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers on ESPN at 6:30. I'll take the Lakers. Toronto Raptors, Orlando Magic, 8 o'clock. I'll take the Raptors. And at 9 o'clock on ESPN, the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. I'll take an upset in that one. I'll take the Brooklyn Nets. August 6th. New Orleans Pelicans, Sacramento Kings. At 1:30 on NBA TV. I'll take the Kings. Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. 4 o'clock on TNT. I'll take the Bucks. Indiana Pacers and the Phoenix Suns at 4 o'clock. I'll take the Suns. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, 6:30 on TNT. Give me the Clippers. The Dallas Mavericks will just be overwhelmed by the Clippers' defense. The Portland Trail Blazers and the Denver Nuggets at 8 o'clock. I'll take Denver. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets, 9 o'clock on TNT. I'll take the Rockets. Next, on August 7th, Friday, Utah Jazz and the San Antonio Spurs at 1 o'clock. Give me the Utah Jazz. Oklahoma City Thunder and Memphis Grizzlies, 4 o'clock on NBA TV. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Sacramento Kings against the Brooklyn Nets at 5 o'clock. Give me the Sacramento Kings. Orlando Magic and the Philadelphia 76ers, TNT 6:30. I'll take the Sixers. Washington Wizards and New Orleans Pelicans at 8. I'll take the Pelicans. And then at 8:30 on ESPN, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Dallas Mavericks. Hold on one. Sorry about that. Let me go back to Friday, August 7th. Let me go back to Friday, August 7th. Utah and San Antonio, 1 o'clock, Utah. Oklahoma City, Memphis, NBA TV, 4 o'clock. Oklahoma City, Sacramento, Brooklyn, 5 o'clock, Sacramento. 6:30 TNT. Philadelphia, Orlando, give me Philly. New Orleans Pelicans over Washington Wizards at 8. And then Toronto over Boston on TNT at 9 o'clock. Now Saturday, 8/8. Clippers and Blazers, 1 o'clock on TNT. Give me the Lakers. Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets on TNT at 3:30. Give me the Utah Jazz. Lakers and Pacers, TNT 6 o'clock. I'll take the Lakers. Phoenix Suns and Miami Heat at 7:30. I'll take the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks Dallas Mavericks 8:30 on ESPN. I am going to have to take the Milwaukee Bucks on this one. Yeah, I'm going to take the Milwaukee Bucks on this one. So next, on Sunday, August 9th, Oklahoma City Thunder over the Washington Wizards at 12:30. I'll take the Toronto Raptors over the Memphis Grizzlies at 2 o'clock. So I'll take the Oklahoma City Thunder over the Washington Wizards at 12:30. The Toronto Raptors over the Memphis Grizzlies at 2 o'clock. I'll take the San Antonio Spurs over the New Orleans Pelicans at 3 o'clock on ABC. Boston Celtics over the Orlando Magic at 5 o'clock. At 6:30, I'll take the Philadelphia 76ers over the Portland Trail Blazers on NBA TV. I'll take the Houston Rockets over the Sacramento Kings at 8 o'clock. And the last game on that Sunday is the Los Angeles Clippers over the Brooklyn Nets on NBA TV at 9 o'clock. So Monday, August 10th. Oklahoma City over the Phoenix Suns at 2:30. At 3 o'clock on NBA TV, I'll take the Dallas Mavericks over the Utah Jazz. At 6:30 on ESPN, I'll take the Milwaukee Bucks over the Toronto Raptors. At 8 p.m., I'll take the Miami Heat over the Indiana Pacers. And at 9 o'clock on TNT, I'll take the Los Angeles Lakers over the Denver Nuggets. And then here we go, August 11th. At 1 o'clock, I'll take the Orlando Magic over the Brooklyn Nets. I'll take the San Antonio Spurs to beat the Houston Rockets on NBA TV at 2 o'clock. I will take in an upset at 4:30, the Phoenix Suns over the Philadelphia 76ers. And at 5 o'clock, I'll take the Portland Trail Blazers to beat the Dallas Mavericks. And in a doubleheader on TNT on that Tuesday at 6:30, I believe the Boston Celtics will beat the Memphis Grizzlies. And then at 9 o'clock on TNT, the New Orleans Pelicans will beat the Sacramento Kings. And I think that could maybe be a big game, potentially for seeding. And at 9 o'clock will be the Milwaukee Bucks taking down the Washington Wizards. Wednesday, August 12th, the Indiana Pacers take down the Houston Rockets on NBA TV at 4 o'clock. At 6:30 on ESPN, the Toronto Raptors will beat the Philadelphia 76ers. And at 8 o'clock, the Oklahoma City Thunder will beat the Miami Heat. And at 9 o'clock on ESPN, the Denver Nuggets will take down the Los Angeles Clippers on ESPN. And then 2 more days. So here's Thursday, August 13th. The Washington Wizards upset the Boston Celtics. And these last 2 days, they don't have times for these games or TV networks just for those last 2 days yet. The Brooklyn Nets will beat the Portland Trail Blazers. The Los Angeles Lakers will beat the Sacramento Kings. The Memphis Grizzlies upset the Milwaukee Bucks because I don't think Giannis or Chris Middleton are really going to be playing at that point because they're probably going to be resting for the playoffs. Excuse me. So then the Orlando Magic will upset the New Orleans Pelicans. The Phoenix Suns upset the Dallas Mavericks. And the Utah Jazz beat the San Antonio Spurs. So now here's the final day. Friday, August 14th. The last day of the regular season before the playoffs. The Philadelphia 76ers over the Houston Rockets. The Miami Heat over the Indiana Pacers. The Los Angeles Clippers over the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Denver Nuggets over the Toronto Raptors. All right. Now it's time for you all to drum roll. And let's see how the standings are going to wind up. The Milwaukee Bucks will stay at number 1 and have 59 wins. The Toronto Raptors stay at number 2 and finish with 51 wins. Boston Celtics will stay at number 3 and finish with 49 wins. Number 4 Miami Heat will stay in the 4th side at 45 wins. But the number 5 seed will go from Indiana to Philadelphia with 45 wins. Indiana drops to the 6th seed with 43 wins. The 7th seed, the Brooklyn Nets, stay with 34 wins. Number 8 seed, the Orlando Magic at 32. And the Washington Wizards will slip the playoffs at 26 wins. Now this is getting interesting in the West. Lakers, actually, 1 through 9 in the West. The Los Angeles Lakers stay at 1 at 55 wins. Number 2, the Clippers stay at the 2 seed with 51 wins. Number 3, the Denver Nuggets stay at 3 with 49 wins. Utah, Oklahoma City stay at 4-5. Both are each going to have 45 wins. Here's what's interesting now about 6-7. Houston Rockets are only going to finish with 43 wins. But even though I have Dallas at the 7th seed still with 44, the truth of the matter is the Mavericks are still going to have a worse winning percentage because the Mavericks entering this have 3 more losses than the Houston Rockets. So Dallas is stuck in that 7th spot, which I don't think is ideal for the Mavericks to play the Clippers in the first round. So Houston at 43 at the 6th seed, Dallas at 7th seed at 44. Number 8, the Grizzlies stay at 34. Now this gets very, very dicey. Here's what's dicey. What I have written down here. 9 seed Portland Trail Blazers have 32 wins. 10 seed New Orleans Pelicans have 32 wins. And 11 seed Sacramento Kings have 32 wins. How do you figure that out? Because all 3 of those teams are within 2 games of each other. Memphis, Portland, New Orleans, and Sacramento. What do you do if you're Adam Silver? Tiebreakers? Or you're going to have massive chaos for that spot. And the Spurs, San Antonio Spurs will be at 29 wins. And the Phoenix Suns will be at 29 as well. But the truth of the matter is, how do you figure out those 4 spots? Between Memphis, Portland, New Orleans, and Sacramento. You simply, maybe, that's tough to figure out. That is tough to figure out if you're the NBA. There is no way that you can just maybe do 2 teams. What you may have to do is simply have a 1-game elimination between 11 and 10 first, and then you have another single-game elimination between whoever's stuck in 9, I guess, and whoever else wins that game. And then you face Memphis in a double elimination, which may be the only way to resolve this. Or another way you can resolve this is you have Memphis play Sacramento in double elimination, and supposedly whoever the home team is, say Portland, New Orleans, Portland is, and New Orleans has to beat Portland twice. And then the winners of those 2, then they also play off in another double elimination, and the lower seed has to beat them twice. That's how it would have to be. That is the only way to this solution you got. It's the only way you have to figure this out with the NBA schedule. That's all. That's what you got to do. And I like the schedule. I can't believe I just did that to you guys. Reading off game by game, predicting who's going to win. But I felt it was important to discuss the schedule and see how the playoff field would feel out. And it's basically going to be the same except a couple of flip-flops. So I'm just going to share this with you very quickly. The Bucks over the Magic. The Raptors over the Nets. The Celtics over the Pacers. And the Sixers over the Heat. So then I'll take the Bucks over the Sixers, Raptors over Celtics, and I'll take the Bucks to represent the East. And I'll take, I guess, in the West, let's just say Memphis stays in 8, because I think it could get very dicey, although I like Portland better. So I'll say Lakers. Actually, no, I'll take the Blazers. Lakers, Blazers, and I'll take the Lakers. Clippers, Mavericks, Clippers, Nuggets, and Rockets. I'll take the Nuggets. Jazz and Thunder. I'll take the Jazz. Lakers, Jazz, Lakers. Denver, Clippers, Clippers. Clippers, Lakers, Clippers, Clippers, Bucks, Clippers. So I like the Clippers a lot to beat the Bucks. So here we are. Next up is my top 10 teams heading into the restart. Number 10, Dallas Mavericks are the number 10 team. Now here's why I say that. Luka Doncic is the heartbeat heart and soul of the Dallas Mavericks, and you have him and Kristaps Porzingis. They have the number 1 ranked offense in the NBA. Let that sit with you for a minute. Personally, I like this team better on paper than the Utah Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I really do. They're young, and they're going to get better with time. Rick Carlisle's a solid head coach. The Dallas Mavericks if they could somehow get out of the 7th spot, I like maybe to upset the Denver Nuggets in the first round. We'll see. Number 9, the Houston Rockets. So this team has underachieved this season. But can James Harden and Russell Westbrook be on liftoff despite not having a center? They are no big guys. I don't think they're going to be able to win the championship without having a decent big man. Clint Capella was their big man, but they don't have him anymore. They're too small. They're going to get killed down low. And they're also going to have the same playoff narrative as chokers until they win an NBA title with Mike D'Antoni as their head coach nonetheless. Number 8, the Miami Heat. This team's very good defensively, and they're also well coached by Eric Spoelstra. However, this team is hot and cold from the outside with guys leading the way, and Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, and Tyler Herro. Hot and cold. And Miami could win a playoff series. Could they upset a Milwaukee or a Boston? Maybe. Or Toronto, it's possible. But Miami's not ready to win yet. They're still young. And you don't know if Miami's going to be a hot team from the field or if they're going to be missing shots left, right, and center. Next, Boston Celtics at number 7. Now I know what you're all thinking. You're a Celtics hater. You're this or that. No. I don't understand why this team is being sold out for an NBA titles contenders to begin with. Look, they are the 3rd best team in the East, led by Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker. But do they really have enough to go all the way with this team that is coached by Brad Stevens nonetheless? I don't think they do. First of all, if you want to play in the Sixers, you're not even going to beat them because the Sixers beat you guys 3 times this year, and the Sixers have more A-stars than the Celtics do. The Boston Celtics are not going to be in the NBA Finals. They're not. I don't even think they're going to reach the Eastern Conference Finals. Toronto's a better team than they are. I think Toronto's a better team than Boston is. Boston's going to win a playoff round if they're lucky. But then, we'll see what happens after the second round. Number 6 in my power rankings, the Philadelphia 76ers. They have massively underachieved this year with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and they're both coming back healthy. They're both going to be healthy, and when Ben Simmons is the heart and soul of the 76ers and your leader, he makes everything flourish from top to bottom. Did you see what happened when Simmons was out? The offense was not fluid. It was much more slow with Joel Embiid. And look, I think Joel Embiid's more talented than Simmons, but Simmons is the igniter. Turn on the key, turn on the engine, let's go. Simmons like, we're in a hurry here, let's go, let's play with pace. And Embiid kind of wants to slow it down a little bit for the Sixers. And you got Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, and Al Horford as some of the key guys in the supporting cast. You're going to need some offense. You are going to need offense. Because I don't question this team's ability to defend. And the one thing the Sixers don't have to worry about is traveling, which is going to be to their advantage. The fact that they're going to have no fans and not going to have to worry about going on the road really anywhere despite being in the bubble, it's like, this is perfect for the Sixers. We don't have to worry about anything. This is fantastic. And this may prove to be an advantage for the Sixers when they get more comfortable, get into the routine. That's how it'll be. Unless the road stigma, just saying the word road, is going to be in their heads. That could be the only thing that stops the Sixers. If you just say the word road to them, if they're in their road jerseys, they still may be intimidated. It may be possible that they are still going to be intimidated by it. We'll see if they are, because if they don't get the job done with Brett Brown, despite these unforeseen circumstances, does general manager Elton Brand make a move, fire Brett Brown, to you trade Simmons or Embiid in the offseason? Number 5, the Toronto Raptors. I cannot believe the job that Nick Nurse has done for the Toronto Raptors this year. He should be the coach of the year in the NBA. They have been dealt with injuries all year. There's not been really a consistent lineup with the Toronto Raptors. Despite amidst the departure of Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam are the emerging stars on the basketball team nonetheless. Well, Lowry's already a star, but Siakam is starting to prove himself. And I personally think Siakam is a better basketball player than Jason Tatum is right now. That's what I think. Siakam popped last year, won most improved, was really good in the NBA Finals. And the one key stat that everyone overlooked in the NBA Finals last year, despite Kawhi Leonard winning Finals MVP, was that the Toronto Raptors won all 4 games when Pascal Siakam scored 20 or more points, and they lost both games when he was under that mark against the Golden State Warriors. Next, at number 4, the Denver Nuggets. And this is what I don't understand. Why are there analysts doubting the Denver Nuggets? I personally think Denver's a top 5 team in the NBA. You see how deep this team is? You see how deep the Denver Nuggets are? Nikola Jokic lost weight, and my brother Jake, we were talking about this, he's going to put more muscle on. He'll be able to train when he comes back from Serbia into the United States recovering from the coronavirus. And Jokic is going to be able to get more lean muscle, and he's probably going to be very dangerous. He may be quicker than ever before. He's going to be a dominant force down low. He's got an IQ of a point guard for a big man. You also got Jamal Murray. You have Gary Harris Jr., Paul Millsap, Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr., Malik Beasley, Mason Plumlee. You have basically a really deep basketball team in Denver. Oh, and Torrey Craig. This team is really good. Why are people doubting Denver is what I don't understand. If the Clippers or the Lakers do not come out of the West, this is a team that's coming out of the Western Conference. And before Kawhi Leonard signed with the Los Angeles Clippers, I was seriously considering the Denver Nuggets representing the West in the NBA Finals this year. The Denver Nuggets, some people, they may think they may not be ready yet, but the Denver Nuggets are one of the, I think, a top 3 teams when it comes to having a bench. And the other 2 teams is the Toronto Raptors and the Los Angeles Clippers. Those are the 2 other teams that may have a better bench than Denver, and that's about it. Because that's why the Denver Nuggets are where they are, and they have done a nice job rebuilding that basketball team. And the Denver Nuggets may win an NBA title in the near future. Next up at number 3, you guys are about to have a big time outcry with this, but the Los Angeles Lakers are only number 3 on my list. Even though this team does have the best record out west, that even though they do have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, I still have questions about whether or not they can do anything against the Los Angeles Clippers come playoff time, and we'll see what happens when these 2 teams play each other in the regular season when the first game comes back on July 30th at 9 o'clock on TNT, which I was going over earlier on the show. And then And a very interesting stat with Avery Bradley not coming back. They were 15-1 without him during the regular season before the coronavirus pandemic hit. And Frank Vogel, maybe he gets Coach of the Year this year, we'll see. He's been full of grace and class all year with everything he's done for the Lakers, coaching-wise. And LeBron's listened to him, so it's like, good for LeBron, because I know he gets that narrative, he doesn't listen to coaches, this and that. Well, I've heard no complaints from him within the Los Angeles organization this year. He's done a lot of leading, and good for him. So, number 2, Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, who's going to step up for them other than Giannis Antetokounmpo? Chris Middleton and some others need to, or Antetokounmpo will bolt in the offseason that will lead their front office. And head coach Mike Budenholzer very unhappy. Maybe he requests for a trade, or maybe he just leaves after next year in free agency. So the Bucks better win this year, or there's going to be big-time problems over there in Milwaukee. Last but not least, number 1, the Los Angeles Clippers. This team is loaded, despite having the second-best record in the Western Conference. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and others will need to be on board with Doc Rivers as the head coach, nonetheless. With game plan and a bunch of other things. Doc Rivers has won NBA championship in 2008 with the Boston Celtics in 6 games over the Los Angeles Lakers, and he also lost in 2010 with the Celtics in 7 games over the Los Angeles Lakers. And here is one thing about the Clippers. Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Landry Shamet. You have a bunch of tough guys, and they don't take BS basically from anyone. Pat Beverly. And this team, Navaka Zubac, this team is, I think they're the favorites to win it all. I really believe that the Los Angeles Clippers are the team in the NBA to beat. That's just my opinion on the whole thing with the Clippers. Now, be critical all you want about me saying the Clippers are the best team in the NBA. Because I know a lot of you LeBron fanboys out there are saying, what are you talking about? You see what the Clippers have been doing to the Lakers this year? We'll see what happens. And I think in a game that the Clippers are going to beat them a third time, and then come the actual playoffs, and maybe the Western Conference Finals are going to be like, here comes Kawhi Leonard trying to snatch the crown away of Los Angeles from LeBron James. So that's what I believe. So let me go through the list one more time, in case you're just tuning in the show. Number 10, the Dallas Mavericks. Number 9, the Houston Rockets. Number 8, the Miami Heat. Number 7, the Boston Celtics. Number 6, the Philadelphia 76ers. Number 5, the Toronto Raptors. Number 4, the Denver Nuggets. Number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. Number 2, the Milwaukee Bucks. And number 1, the Los Angeles Clippers. Nonetheless. So, before I get into my next segment, use promo code 12ZSports, all caps, with a deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. And now here's the next segment. So someone's got to explain this to me with the NHL. So you got to explain to me how a team vying for the Stanley Cup can also get the number 1 pick this year. It's time for the NHL to get rid of your draft lottery because it's utterly ridiculous. The NBA is doing their draft lottery correctly. They're waiting until their regular season is over to conduct theirs. So why didn't the NHL wait until the qualifying round was over to at least conduct their draft lottery and feel rushed to do so? And this is where the worst teams are getting robbed, like the Detroit Red Wings. This should be the team that gets the number 1 pick. If they did not do a draft lottery, which the NFL and the MLB doesn't do, in a normal world, or if any normal league would understand the complications, I guess, for the draft lottery or just the draft order, basically in general, this is what the order should be. Detroit Red Wings should have the 1 pick. The Ottawa Senators should be having back-to-back picks at 2 and 3, and one of them's doing trade with the San Jose Sharks. Number 4 is the Los Angeles Kings. Number 5 should be the Anaheim Ducks. Number 6 should be the New Jersey Devils. And number 7 should be the Buffalo Sabres. But this is how the order played out. Number 1's not available, and they have to redo it after the qualifying round's over. Number 2 is the Los Angeles Kings. Number 3 is the Ottawa Senators from San Jose Sharks. Number 4 is the Detroit Red Wings. Number 5 is the Ottawa Senators. Number 6 is the Anaheim Ducks. Number 7 is the New Jersey Devils. And number 8 is the Buffalo Sabres. And the top prize, or the top pick, in this draft, is Alexis Lafreniere. So, here are the 8 teams that cannot get Lafreniere. The Washington Capitals, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Boston Bruins, the St. Louis Blues, the Dallas Stars, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Vegas Golden Knights. Cannot get the number 1 pick. But let me give you a list right now of the teams that can get the number 1 pick after the qualifying round. Here we go. Montreal Canadiens. And I don't even know Carey Price is playing because he has very much a lot of questions about the play to return, and his wife is expectant, so I don't know if Carey Price is even going to show up. The Florida Panthers, New York Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes, Pittsburgh Penguins, Columbus Blue Jackets, Toronto Maple Leafs, New York Islanders, Carolina Hurricanes, and then out west, Chicago Blackhawks, Edmonton Oilers, Arizona Coyotes, but that pick goes to the New Jersey Devils because of the Taylor Hall trade, Minnesota Wild, Nashville Predators, Winnipeg Jets, the Calgary Flames, and the Vancouver Canucks. So, which team do I think needs it? Let's see. I'll tell you 3 teams I'll give you 4 or 5 teams that don't need that pick. New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Maple Leafs, the Edmonton Oilers, and here's it. I'll give you the Calgary Flames don't need that pick. I don't think Winnipeg does either. And I know there's a list about people complaining about the Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens. But I'm going to say something about those 2 franchises. And I'm going to explain why that I think those 2 franchises may need them more than you think. Montreal. Their face of the franchise is a goalie. Carey Price. Alexis Lafreniere. The Montreal Canadiens do not have a face of the franchise right now as a position player. They don't have one. Max Domi's a nice player. Jonathan Druid's a nice player. They also have an 18, 19-year-old that's going to be popping soon. But the truth of the matter is, Montreal doesn't have that guy. Domi is good player, role player, so is Drouin. And so is the 18, 19-year-old that they're very high on. But I'm not going to sit here for 1 second and say, and Montreal has not won a Stanley Cup since the 1990s. They haven't. And Montreal, the NHL needs Montreal to be good. And Alexis Lafreniere maybe would take them back to the playoffs next year. In a real world with only 16 teams. What the NHL did with the NHL Draft Lottery, it was not filled with grace and class. It was disgusting with the way they did the Draft Lottery. It was absolutely disgusting. You cannot have the number one pick go a team vying for the Stanley Cup. And Detroit, who had the worst record, basically gets the fourth pick. And General Manager Steve Yzerman is not making any excuses for himself because he wants to build a team correctly, knowing that he won a bunch of Stanley Cups with the Detroit Red Wings. Okay. Want to know what team? And here's another reason why I think Chicago could get the one pick. Look, okay, you got Jonathan Toews and you got Patrick Kane. But what else do they have after those two and Alex DeBrincat? They don't have much. General Manager Steve Bowman put them in a pickle, basically. They have nothing else after those guys. They have nothing. And Toews is getting older, so is Kane. And look, and I know Crosby and Malkin are getting older in Pittsburgh too. But Pittsburgh's system is much deeper than Chicago's is. And as much as I love Lafreniere on the Pittsburgh Penguins, liking that team and fan a lot, basically a lot. But let me say this. That would be unfair. And Lafreniere goes to a team with Edmonton and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, the Rangers with Artemi Panarin, or Toronto with Austin Matthews and Mitchell Marner, or with Calgary Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau. And Winnipeg with Blake Wheeler and Patrick Laine and Mark Scheifele. And with Connor Hellebuck in net. And here's what I find interesting. I'll tell you a team that if they lose the qualifying round to get the number one pick, and you're not going to complain about, but it changes a lot of things in the Eastern Conference. The Columbus Blue Jackets. John Tortorella has won a Stanley Cup before. He's won a Stanley Cup before with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2003-2004. They found their goalie with Evans Lakins, and you also got Jonas Korpisalo. You had Seth Jones and Zach Werenski on your back end. You have Pierre-Luc Dubois. You have Cam Atkinson. You have Nick Foligno, who's a very nice player on this team. Also, you have on this roster, you also have Alexander Texier, a young player who could pop. And they're a very good run organization. And if Columbus ends up with Alexis Lafreniere, the Columbus Blue Jackets will be a threat next year in the East. And I'll tell you another team in the East, I do believe that the Carolina Hurricanes will beat the New York Rangers. But that's another team that could change things in the East if they get the number one pick. We're talking about dark horses. I'm not talking about teams that are rebuilding or one step away. Carolina, this is another dark horse team that can maybe win a Stanley Cup for the first time since 2006 if they get him. You already have Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov. Yes, Svechnikov must be a big lacrosse fan because he keeps doing all those lacrosse goals. Those are two teams that are potential dark horses in all this. And another one's the Nashville Predators. They're a team that's in cap hell, basically. Or as they say, HE to the double hockey sticks. That's basically another team because you got Matt Duchene and Philip Forsberg, but they don't have any offense. That's why I think Peter Laviolette got fired and John Hines had to take over. This team doesn't have any offense. But another thing is, what if the Arizona Coyotes land it, and you had the New Jersey Devils basically getting the number one pick? Again, for the third time in 5 years. Or third time in 5 years with Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, and now you get Alexis Lafreniere, who may be the best out of them all. So Lafreniere, Hughes, and Hershey are all former number 1 picks. And you better develop those guys if you're the Devils the right way, because I know they're going to be getting new management, and the Devils are going to have no more room for excuses when it comes to development if they get another number 1 pick. Because if this is another one that doesn't take out for the Devils, you're going to start having to ask questions as what's going on with their development in Jersey. Because I'm telling you this right now, ladies and gentlemen, that the New Jersey Devils will have no more room for excuses. Oh, and better yet, if the Devils land the number 1 pick, and you have the number 7 pick, the Devils, you have no more excuses. You have absolutely no more excuses. If you don't get these draft picks correctly, there is something wrong in your scouting department. And the great news is that General Manager Ray Shero is gone, so maybe they'll finally get it right in the draft. And to conclude this show today, I'm going to go with the mock draft here quickly. Number 1 pick to be decided, Alexis Lafreniere. Let's say the Devils do get the number 1 pick from the Arizona Coyotes. Alexis Lafreniere from the Rimouski Oceanic QMJHL. 52 games played, 35 goals, 77 assists, points 112, plus minus plus 41. Number 2 to Los Angeles Kings. Quinton Byfield, center Sudbury Wolves from the OHL, 45 games played, 32 goals, 50 assists, 82 points, plus minus 26. Number 3 to the Ottawa Senators from the San Jose Sharks, Tim Stutzel, left winger from the Mannheim Eagles in the DEL League, 41 games played, 7 goals, 27 assists, plus minus of 4, 34 points. Number 4, Detroit Red Wings take Jamie Drysdale, defenseman from the Erie Otters OHL, 49 games played, 9 goals, 38 assists, plus minus of 9 and 47 points. And Yzerman, I think, knows a thing or two about defensemen because he played with a guy named Nicholas Lindstrom, who happened to win 4 Stanley Cups and is in the Hall of Fame and was a captain for the 2018. Number 5, the Ottawa Senators, Marco Rossi, center from the Ottawa 67s OHL, right from their own backyard, 56 games played, goals, 39 goals, 81 assists, and it rounds out to 110 points, 120 points, plus minus 69. Number 6, the Anaheim Ducks, Lucas Raymond, left winger for Olanda from the SHL. He had 10 points. He played in 6 games for... I'll skip that. Number 7, New Jersey Devils, Cole Perfetti, center Saginaw Spirit. He's from the OHL. And last but not least, at number 8, from the Buffalo Sabres, Jack Quinn, right winger, Ottawa 67s. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time here. Thanks for tuning in to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner. I am your host, Glenn Kaplan. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and also your week as well. Nonetheless, I'll be back on the air at the same time on Thursday. I will go over some potential NBA and NHL topics. I'll also have some more about regards to 2020 NFL regular season here, nonetheless, and other NFL topics. Maybe some MLB opening day 2020, nonetheless. And use promo code 12ZSports for deposits up to $1,000, all caps for my bookie. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. Hope to be